satanic pop metal. What? So Cradle of Filth is one of those bands that you really love or you hate. There's a lot of different reasons for that. I personally really enjoy that band. The first time that I listened to them was the Cruelty and the Beast album. At that time I was listening to a lot of Morbid Angel, a lot of death metal. Speaking of death metal, I'm listening to this band right here called Fallen Angel from the LA area. I picked up this CD at Dark Realms Records in Downey, California. Owned and operated by the brothers from Sadistic Intent. Great death metal. If you like Incantation, old school Morbid Angel, and Immolation, you know, that kind of stuff. But they remind me a lot of Incantation. Killer stuff. Get this word out to Analog Archives. I know he likes this style of music, so get a hold of me, man. I'll try to get a copy for you. I also picked up this patch here. I'm gonna put on my jacket pretty soon. It's evil. It's cool. It's gonna look good on this. Put it on my black jacket around this somewhere. Anyway, Cradle of Filth. I have everything up from the Principle of Evil Made Flesh up to Midian, because I don't like anything after that. I've tried to listen to it, I couldn't get into it. One of the main reasons I kind of stopped listening to Cradle was because Nick Barker left the band, or was fired, or whatever the case was, man. But I think his drumming really drew me in at first, and then everything else just captured me. The lyricism, everything, man. So I'm gonna show you the Cradle of Filth collection I got here. Let's start with the first album. I don't have any of the demo material. I just have the full-length albums. Pretty simple. Evil Made Flesh. Classic Cradle of Filth. I mean, they took everybody by surprise when this came out. Now we have here the Vampire EP, which another one. I mean, this thing just blew me away the first time I heard it. Just unbelievable stuff, man. And a lot of the tracks on here were, I guess, supposed to be on the Dusk and Her Embrace album or something like that. Just unbelievable stuff, man. Just great stuff. I have the Dusk and Her Embrace album here. Another great album. I gotta say that between this one and the Vampire EP, those are two of my favorite Cradle of Filth material that I've heard. And I also had to get this Dusk and Her Embrace, the Original Sin, which is like a compilation of their demo material of some of the Dusk and Her Embrace, and I think some of the Cruelty and the Beast stuff on there. But it's like not overproduced. The drums sound great. The guitars sound great. There's some rough stuff going on there as far as the singing, but I mean, it sounds really cool, man. You can get a copy of this. It's hard to find. Well, if you can't find it, you're probably gonna pay some serious money for it. All right. I got Cruelty and the Beast right here. This is the first album I heard of theirs, and I was just like, whoa, what is this, man? Actually, this is the first black metal album that I've heard. You know, and I'm probably gonna get some comments like, "Oh, that's not really black metal." Well, to me it was, man, and I still love it. Great stuff, man. I also have the remix that they did a couple of years ago. What year was this? 2019 already. I do like how it sounds. The drums sound better on this. They did a couple of things that sounded just a little bit different on the mix, but it's not too far off from the original. I mean, I just think it sounds better. Like there's like a cavernous sound that this one has. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know anything about technicalities as far as music, but there's like it sounds like it's recorded in a cave or something. I don't know. All right. And then I have this EP here, which is from the Cradle to Enslave tracks, which were after Nick left the band and the new drummer came in. And a couple of new guys were on here too. I really like it. It's very aggressive. And there's a couple of there's a Dawn of Eternity, which I think is a cover of it's a cover of Massacre. They got a Death Comes Ripping cover of a Misfit song, and they also have a Funeral in Carpathia version, which I think was on the this. I'd have to look it up. I don't know. It's been a while since I've listened to them. And then I got the last album that I have of theirs is Midian. I don't know. Like it's hard for me to get into anything after this. I really like this one. I mean, I have my favorites obviously, but. Cool, so there's my Cradle of Filth collection. If you guys out there like Cradle of Filth, tell me what your favorites are, why you like them, why you hate them. I think a lot of people might hate them just because of the vocals, you know. Maybe because it became so popular, so it wasn't that impressive to a lot of people. Check it out. So we have also, I'm going to show you some things that I think, if you like Cradle of Filth, some bands that I think you'll enjoy. They're not exactly like Cradle. Well, there is one band on here I think this is going to sound bad, but I feel like it's a complete rip-off of Cradle. And, but I think you'll get a kick out of it. It's great stuff. But of all things, it's a Christian band. Christian black metal band. Here it is. I have, this isn't the original. I've been trying to find the original. It's a band from Brazil called Nocturnal Freeze. And, if you like Dusk in Her Embrace and, Dusk in Her Embrace and Cruelty and Beast era, excuse me, Cradle of Filth, you'll like this for sure. For sure you'll like this. I mean, they worship Cradle of Filth, but it's funny that they're a Christian band, Christian black metal or unblack metal. I don't know what you can call it. The original one has like a vampire looking guy on it. I saw it on Metal Archives here. So they're from Brazil, and this album is called Transylvania. It's got like a vampire and a couple of wolves on the side of them. Look it up, man. It's really interesting that that happened. Like, okay, like I'm gonna read off some of these titles. Okay, check this out. So one of them is called Carpathian Forest Witch. Hosannas in Extremis. Sound familiar? Vampire, Beyond the Cemetery Gates, Diabolical Illusion. So there's a lot of references to Cradle of Filth on there, and some of it sounds very, very similar to it. Go look it up. But it's good. It's good. It's not as good as Cradle of Filth, but I really like this band here, Nocturnal Freaks. And I think this is the only release, because let me look on here. Yeah, that's it. It's just that one, man. They split up. Well, anyway. So if you like Cradle of Filth, I also recommend December Moon, which Robin Graves, who plays bass on Cradle of Filth, is the mastermind behind this. And I think Was, who plays drums in a couple of their later albums, is on this too. Killer stuff. December Moon, man. Go check them out. Also, I have a couple of albums by a band called Hecate Thrones. I don't know how to pronounce it. But these two are so similar to Cradle of Filth. But I think that in some ways the material is a little bit like heavier. It's more complex. So this one's called The Slaughter of Innocence. Okay, great album. Great symphonic black metal. He's got the shrieky vocals that Danny Filth has, and the musicianship is absolutely amazing. All right, I got another band here, which this is the only album I have of theirs, and I really like this one. It's called Delictum by Siebenbergen, I believe is how you say it, with the sexy chick on there. Yeah, it's not like the shrieky vocals aren't there, but the musicianship reminds me of Cradle a little bit. Napalm Records. And there's also a band called Samargo. Now here's an interesting band. I think I'll do a separate video on this band alone one day, because this is really interesting. Samargo. Let me see where they're from. In the meanwhile, look at this cool cover here. Samargo. I'm gonna look them up on Metal Archives real quick. So they're from Ukraine. Interesting. So they started off playing like Dimmu Borgir style black metal, like Dimmu Borgir. Trying to think like a little bit of Emperor in there, some Cradle, some early black metal. Yeah, this is Attack on God. This album is their best album. Fucking amazing. There's even this song on there that kind of sounds a little grindcore. So very melodic stuff. There's some piano interludes on there, which is some beautiful stuff, man. It's also got a lot of brutality in it as far as the album. This is the Deathgasm version. It's the exact same recording, exact same sound, just a different cover. And then we have this one that's called Sadogenesis, which I believe isn't as good as Attack on God. It's still good. They throw a little bit more industrial elements on there, like noise and stuff. But it's pretty good. And then I also have this last one, which is called Manifest, which is kind of, they went from Sadogenesis and they started like a different style, I guess you could say. Now from here on, they started recording pop songs. It's really bizarre. Because I was looking for other stuff to buy from Marvel, and I was like, what is this? Is it the same band? It is the same band. They play like electro pop. Look, it says right here on Metal Archives. Drum and bass electronic rock pop. I don't know what happened there. It's the same front man. It even says here, so Margot started off playing a mixture of black and death metal, but drastically changed their sound in 2012 towards a less extreme style. They subsequently dubbed their newfound sound satanic pop metal. What? The group also started using stage dancers for the, which is pretty hot. There's some, hot girls on there. But anyway, so I started, I'll do a separate video on that one. We'll get into it. But yeah, so that's my discussion on Cradle of Filth. Not too much in-depth information. I'm not a researcher of anything. But there is your Cradle of Filth collection. I think a lot of you have probably heard about it and probably enjoyed it as much as I did. Okay, see you later.